there's no consistent money in my life. I don't have a salary, I don't have a boss, no one pays me every day. Like every day I have to eat what I kill and I have to figure out how to do that. And that's obviously not for everyone. I mean, last night I woke up at 4:45 just thinking, because I'm like, you know, am I doing enough? Should I put this project out? You know, what's happening with this renovation? You know, it is scary. It is Monday morning, and I just want to say that I slept for 7 hours and 54 minutes on a Sunday night. Now that, my friends, that's 7 hours and 54 minutes, is a big deal, because I haven't been sleeping that well. And then you just feel way more rested, you know what I'm saying? And then also we woke up to this. Look at that 1M. This lady hit 1 million followers. After how many years?
12.
You think that's funny, but I've been doing it for 12 and I have 170,000 followers. So 1 million is a big deal. The fact that there's 1 million people who have double clicked, not even double, just clicked the button, Hannah, to follow you and see you take a prenatal, postnatal syrup in the morning is insane.
I feel very grateful.
I'm so proud of you.
Very proud of us and just so like humbled for this community. I can't even believe it. But it's a good reminder that growth is very subjective, people. It's very subjective.
I mean, most people will do this for 12, 15, 20 years and never hit 100,000. So
yeah,
you hit 1 million.
And some people get on this platform and overnight they have 10 million followers. So, you know, it's just like...
And they open gifts and they're 2 years old. It's ridiculous. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, babe.
Million's big. What are we gonna do?
I hope it don't fall.
Should we get a big cake that's... You hope it won't fall down?
Yeah.
It's not gonna fall
That
down.
would totally happen to me.
No.
Well, I thought like on a, like doing something like actually for the community, doing like an in-person meetup of some sort.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but I like need to plan it. Imagine if I just like stood outside on the street and gave out free hugs.
No.
Remember when I tried to do that once and I literally only got 2 people to give me a hug, and so we never put out the piece of content. Wait.
You can't even play music on YouTube, it's so annoying.
Really?
Yeah. The age-old fashion week is upon us. Get you on the go, on the fly. And I don't like to do much during fashion week anymore because I used to do a lot. I used to DJ runway shows, produce music for runway shows, mixes for runway shows, go to runway shows.
How much do you like not miss?
I don't miss it at all. Making music for runway shows was just
like
really
kind of the worst. No?
Really stressful because you crush it to exactly what they wanted, and then like 2 hours before they'd be like, change this out, move this piece around, do this.
So stressful.
Instead of just like trusting the process. Anyway, that was reality. But since then I kind of got burnt on Fashion Week. So I decided to really only do things that are incredibly strategic and or worth my time / supporting friends. So this week, where are we going right now?
We're going to an Acne fitting.
An Acne fitting, which is a great brand, which I've loved for a long time.
We've never really done anything.
We've never done anything with them. So
Kind of excited.
it's
It's not even like they're not having a show or anything. We're just going to this event that they're doing. But they reached out to dress us and have us at the event. And I think Brendan and I were pretty excited to do that because we both really like the brand and we've never worked with them before. But then
they're just having a party though, right?
realized that we're not even going to get to go to the party together.
So we're gonna go to the fitting together. Because that same night I have to go to a dinner with McAllen, which I've been building with for a while.
And I am going to a Andre Leon Talley event. Obviously he's passed away, but it's something with Christie's. So I thought it would be nice, you know, he is the godfather of fashion.
Literally. See? You're coming with us to the fitting. We'll see what is going on over there. And I think I gotta dress not too crazy, so I show up at McAllen looking somewhat not overly fashioned.
So wait, you're going to Acne before you go to McAllen dinner?
Yeah, at 11 Madison Park.
Okay, because I'm going to the Andre event
Before,
prior
yeah.
to go. Okay.
So we're not gonna get to attend together.
Awkward.
Just got a fresh haircut today, keeping it a little longer. I think it might be the move.
When the Reddit thread starts speculating.
The Reddit thread?
Yeah.
Should he keep his hair longer? It looks terrible longer.
No, I mean, they go to the same event, but they didn't show up together.
Oh. Yeah, why are they at the same? She's pregnant and he didn't go to the event at the same time with him. Do you think something happened? What did he do?
Like, honestly, this backseat beat with 2 products, I'm just so proud of myself. My face looks fresh.
Fresh. Look very good.
What do you
These
think?
little things. Baby
I
egg.
feel like it does look like a
Or
baby.
what, you know, a pitaya.
A pitaya?
Yeah.
Oh my god, like a dragon fruit?
A dragon fruit.
Oh, she kept trying to push you.
I think this is the look.
I like it. Well done.
You think I should go silver or gold? I love my little look. I love those jeans.
All right, they asked
Like, adorable.
at our school to make Valentine's Day gifts, and Sean, our nanny, you have to make one for each kid so no kid feels left out. She made this
Surprise.
well, no one's gonna see this before.
Oh, right.
Got a little note in it, a little flower for each kid. Come on. So creative. 10 out of 10. Also, we're picking out some rug samples. I don't know if I showed you those yesterday or not, but from Ashley Stark. Trying to get a rug for this main room and also a rug for under the dining table. Since we've, oh, look at this guy who's lined up his cars. So organized. Also, this growth marketer, email marketer we work with, Nat, sent Hannah flowers because Hannah hit 1 million. As you saw, I should probably get Hannah something too. It's a big win. It's Valentine's Day next week. Maybe I'll double down. And in case you've been wondering how the Lego update's going, well, now I'm building the whole steering. There's a lot of parts here. I'm only on page 115 of 500. But I also saw pictures of the marble bar yesterday. It's going right here. Actually, let me show those to you quickly. It's gonna look pretty cool. We also gotta find a way to fix Hannah's sculpture. That is something you should do. Let's get some clay and patch Hannah's old sculpture up.
Yeah.
I had to switch up contractors right at the end to get this done, but it's happening. Right, Taylor?
It's happening.
We're finishing this apartment.
Finishing. Almost done.
All right. I'm also, in the grand mix of things here, a guy I went to high school with is a teacher at a Canadian college. And he's asked, I guess from following on Instagram, if I would speak to his class about building a personal brand, have a conversation with them, questions. I thought I'd include some of the discussion here because it seems relevant and a lot of people ask a lot of questions in DM, on YouTube, everything about personal brand. How do you get started? What do you do? How do you keep everyone engaged? So I'm assuming maybe some of those will be questions they asked today, but won't know until I log in. But pretty cool. Hannah spoke at Harvard, and I'm speaking at Fanshawe through video. Hannah went to Harvard, sat on a panel. Goals. I mean, if I could get to that level that my boss wife is at, it'd be cool, but she's definitely, you know, just at 1 million followers, as you saw. She's a bigger brand. This guy's just at 160 or something, 170, and 112 on YouTube, which have been stuck there forever. Gotta change that somehow this year. My talk isn't going so well so far, because it's just me in here.
Hey, well, welcome, guys. I was going to take this opportunity to thank Brendan Fallis for joining us today. and Taylor for helping us get this all set up. I'm going to just kind of let Brendan jump in here and let us know who he is, what he does. I tried to run a profile, but it was getting pretty long. It's quite inspiring. And, thanks again, Brendan, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here.
Hello, guys. Thanks for attending class. I mean, you probably had to, so I'm glad I could be part of your attendance schedule. My name's Brendan Fallis. I went to school with the man leading your ship right here. We were in school a long time ago. I don't even know at this point. We should mention how old we are, but I was on the Canadian freestyle ski team a long time ago, and so largely driven by being a self-motivator because it's an individual sport. And I took that, used it to get myself to New York City, where and along kind of mishmash path, I taught myself how to DJ. Brandon myself took an opportunity to find my place in the market, become a DJ. That was kind of my career and has been my career over the last decade in the corporate space. I'm not your Calvin Harris or someone which you may know better, but I used that, and then Instagram came out kind of during that mix, so I started to understand that I could create a brand for myself around that. So started to monetize in different ways rather than just the music. I could bolt on kind of more billables through that, and then started a talent agency because I was giving gigs away to people, and I thought if I was giving them to people, I should kind of earn some money on the back of it. So now we have an agency called Purveyor, which manages 40 plus people, and me still being one of them while being a manager and being talent. So DJ, business owner. Then I started investing over a pandemic, started just doing some seed investing. So have a bunch of investments in cool businesses where I feel I can be helpful, forward facing, or consulting, advisory wise on the back end. And then real estate, that's my newest kind of real estate, and a home line. As Justin said, he can't kind of touch on it all that quickly. I launched a home line because I wanted to get out of DJing more so and get something I could have a longer trail into. So put together kind of my non-negotiables, espresso cups, blanket, watercrafts, duffel bag, just kind of put that into the market because I had a community that I could market it to. And then real estate, I like having a nice place to live, so was able to use some of the equity that I earned through DJing and all the brands to buy a home, and then leverage relationships to renovate it for cheaper and increase the value. So now I'm in real estate, and that's kind of my box I fit into, or multiple boxes attached to one box. I skied, and through that I met a great network of people, and one of those people who was on the British Columbia team injured himself a year before me and went to school in New York. So I just went to visit him, and when I showed up, I was like, deer in the headlights, like, this is the craziest place ever. And he was just starting a business a year later, and I came back again. He said, why don't you come work for us? I didn't even understand what that would be. Interviewed with him. They just needed an office manager, someone who would accept a low paying role, which I would do anything to get there. My drive was really the energy of the city coming once, and always knowing that, probably like you, I would assume, there was something more for me than Durham and Hanover where we grew up. Like it wasn't enough. And I got, we didn't have social media then, so our view to the outside world was through friends and travel, more than like, I could see what's happening or feel how someone lives in another city through YouTube or whatever. We didn't have that. All we had was movies, TV shows, and travel. By showing up here, I was like, I need to give this place a chance. I would love to someday, and then got awarded the opportunity, went home, couldn't afford a visa lawyer, an immigration lawyer, so I just met with 3 lawyers, took all their kind of info I could, but without retaining them, scrapped together what I could based on 2 other people I knew who did the same thing, who already lived in New York, and headed to the border with a letter after bartending for a couple months to save money. A lot of my success, which we might chat about later or not, whatever, is largely due to relationships. I think relationships more so, you can get your master's, you can graduate from Fanshawe, everything, but if you don't know anyone, how do you go apply these things? And if you're not personable and don't want to take the chance or put yourself out there, you won't even take the interview, you won't reach out to the person. Like, I think those relationships and the networking of it all is like really, really important, and a thing that helped me get to where I am. When I remember being at Laurier, where I went to school, and being like, oh, the DJ's so cool, like he controls the room, and like I like music a lot, so I'd pay attention, but I never even imagined I would DJ. And then I moved to New York for literally $21,000 a year in 2007. And it was cost way more to live here, so I needed to supplement some sort of work at night, but it didn't even come to be DJing right away. I just would go to my friend's restaurant because he was from Toronto. He managed a restaurant, and I could eat for free while he was managing. He'd give me free burgers. And then he was also a promoter at night, so I'd go out with him to other clubs, or he was getting paid, but I could like drink for free and meet more people. And then he just invited me to come DJ on Monday nights. He was like, why don't you come in? There's no one here. We'll just play some music. And then we taught ourselves how, and then that just kind of was the baby steps to where I ended up. One night, another restaurant owner, his name's Randy Gerber, came in. He famously married Cindy Crawford, who,
whatever.
Yeah, she's the queen. I don't know. Never met her, but he said, oh, this DJ is great. I'd love to have him at my restaurant on Saturdays. And I was like, wow, that'd be so cool. But then the one of the restaurant I was currently at was like, he's my Saturday guy. And I was like, wait, you've never offered me Saturdays. And then I got moved to Saturday, which I ended up opening for one of my, who I didn't even realize was like a childhood favorite of mine, but Notorious B.I.G.'s DJ was like this guy, Marley Marl. So I opened for him every Saturday, which was like the crazy, I was like, what's more New York than this? But he was not using new technology. So I was like teaching him how to use this program every week. And I'm like, this is crazy. And then I realized, whatever, I was getting like kind of good at it, and it was fun. And I was getting a couple more nights at other places. But then I worked at a fashion company. We did like these things called trunk shows, which it's like they're designers who they're trying to launch, set up a little, rent a hotel room and set up their stuff for buyers to come through. And this girl, Lauren Bush, who's like, I guess like a niece of George Bush, I don't even know how they're related, said, they were like, why don't you DJ her trunk show? And I was like, what? Sure, but for no money, because I just worked at the company. So I stood in the corner and played my little ambient music for people while they had meetings and drank champagne. And then something clicked in my head. I did that a couple more times for a couple of the other brands that the company represented. And I would literally like, buy a photocopier for the office. I wasn't doing much. And they wanted me to, do more of those. And I realized, oh, there's a money to be made in this space in fashion. And then, I kind of looked at it. There was only really Mark Ronson in the male fashion space, and I didn't really know of anyone else. So I was like, maybe I'll brand myself there. So I started to tell people that's what I did. I made cards, kind of passed them out every night I would go out. I was like, if I go out, 5 nights a week, either DJ or go with my friend who promotes at clubs and give one card out a night, like 260 odd people will know who I am by the end of the year, perhaps. So that was like my early way to brand myself, and just the hustle of it all. And then I'd always take a card and try and follow up with people before 9 a.m. to show them that like, you're up and working. Even if I DJ till 4 a.m, I'd like wake up, email, I still had an office job, so I had to work anyway. But yeah, that was kind of my larger networking while branding myself mission and then that led, as you said, like to these, years in, I was DJ, I played main stage at Coachella. Like, who would have ever thought that would happen? I didn't even know what Coachella was. Maybe it didn't even exist when we were in high school, actually, so how would I have known? It's tough to know how the world will pull you. I guess it's just seeing, when you see that opportunity arise and you know that it doesn't seem like a big lift, which it ultimately will become a big lift, but you're interested in it, so your passion or desire to go there fuels the interest to get started anyway. Earlier, as I said, I realized like I was DJing 6 nights a week in New York, sometimes 2 gigs a night, while working 10 to 6 or 7 each day. But like people would go to book me and I'd be like, oh, I'm already got a weekly over here. So I'd give it to someone else I kind of knew in the DJ circuit. And then I realized that, wait, I should, formalize this and like take a percentage if I'm going to start giving these gigs to everyone, because I was doing that for like 6-8 months and I was like, this is kind of dumb. I know how to kind of run the business. And then that led to me, just kind of doing that myself, which wasn't super profitable and honestly way too much of a lift, because you're also like negotiating for yourself while negotiating for others. It was a whole thing. And then I DJ'd at Soho House, this place in New York, every Wednesday and Monday. And then I met a music artist there who was like, oh, his DJ couldn't figure out the system, so I just played, and he was like, you're great, you want to play with us later tonight? And I was like, oh, I'm actually DJing there tonight anyway. That's my residency every Thursday. Why don't you come and like play with me? And he's like, oh, amazing, whatever. So then he invited me on tour. We ended up touring the world for 2 years, and during that, I enjoyed business a lot. So I would realize, like, why are we spending money here? You should be saving. Where is your manager? Why isn't this guy? Like, we could be staying at a better place for less if we just did some research and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, this van's too much, whatever, kind of doing tour logistics. So then I fired his manager while being hired myself, which was a funny thing. And then ended up touring the world, playing Coachella with him, playing, you know, O2 Arena in Germany, like kind of wild things. So that just like, those are the kind of things that just molded into, oh, I could do that, and I'm here anyway, so how do I plug into that? Where like, that's what Instagram became too. It's like, okay, as you're building a following, then all these brands, as Instagram is growing, is realizing like print media is dead. We need to get actual impressions that we can, you know, have analytics on of hiring so-and-so to wear said coat while DJing, like a, you know, Moose Knuckles jacket for the Moose Knuckles store opening. Why don't we get you to post alongside DJing? Then we can hit people who aren't here while, you know, hitting people who are here. So we kind of turn that. That's how the management company, which we now call like non-traditional talent and multi-hyphenate talent. So everyone kind of started as a DJ and then did something else. And we've kind of taken that to the next level now too. But just looking at those things as like, all right, where's the business here? How do we make it? I think, you know, everyone from, you know, you to, I don't know, whoever, Bram, who's sitting beside his guitar there, you know, it's like, there's a business in that room somewhere. You just got to make it, whether it's like, oh, I love guitar strings, I'm going to find a cheaper way to buy them and then sell them on Amazon at a better price because I can game my Amazon store up. Like I can do that while going to school, and I can buy these wholesale cheap on Alibaba and then put a sticker on them and then resell them and ship them from my house and like double or triple the price. You know, I just like the idea of like, we can create anything out of our passion and desire to want more. And I think, you know, it's there, you know? And so it's just, while you're in those atmospheres, figuring out how you can, you know, create a new business and be creative around that. How can I leverage my brand to make itself money well in this whole zone? Because although things are on pause for a minute, they're going to come back, which they did, even without us leaving our homes. You know, people had to do business again. Marketing budgets got frozen, which is, those ones applied to me. So I knew they'd be released at some point. So how do I get myself to a point that I'm super attractive to said brand by the time people get back to work and that budget is unfrozen? So that was kind of my goal. My wife does the same thing. So we were just kind of strategizing daily on like, what's that look like? How can we do it? And, you know, we had a quarantine pod of like 4 friends that were with us and 2 couples. So me and the 2 guys just started doing outdoor work, and I started like tagging, you know, Fisker, John Deere, the Wheelbarrow Company, the hose company. I would, you know, tag like Home and Garden Network or, you know, HGTV, like whatever. I would just, you know, tag anything to kind of try and get someone's response on the back. And then we also got pregnant throughout that time. So then I started, you know, baby brands asking questions like, what's the best bowl to buy? What's the best stroller? And then these brands would reach out like, oh, we'd love to gift you. And then we try and, if someone's going to gift you, we just try and turn that into a deal, you know? So that was kind of like how we pivoted, or I pivoted during that time. One day I was sitting there, I was like, I'd love to renovate our basement. It was just a, you know, classic basement, just concrete, wires everywhere, cobwebs, mice, whatever. And I was like, let me buy a digital measuring tape so I don't have to stretch it. And I bought it on Amazon and just like started to plug that all into this program called SketchUp. I researched what's the easiest program to learn to render. Plug that all into SketchUp. It's so user-friendly. Figured out how to fully like 3D map my room, and then plugged furniture in, kind of rendered the space out. And then was like, okay, how much is this gonna cost? Do I have enough? Can I start leveraging brands? So like, my wife had a deal with Samsung at the time for phones. So like, I hit them up and was like, can we get a TV? So I was like, yes. So then I started around the TV, and then it was like, okay, can we hit Crate and Barrel up and see if they'd want to do something? And they wanted to, gift for trade. So I was able to, I got a free Whirlpool washer and dryer through Instagram, like just trying to leverage what I knew I had, which is community, and that's powerful to someone, especially in a marketing department. In my community, if I can describe the demographics and that aligns with their goals, then I'm able to create a partnership. So I was able to do that space for less than normally it would cost. And then I even got all our paint for free from this company called Claire Paint, which is cool. Again, that's a funny thing. Everyone's like, oh, just like DJing. It's like, oh, you get to fly around the world DJing. That's great. It's like, work is work. I don't care how you cut it. As soon as a passion becomes a job, it's real work. And everyone's like, oh, you just post a photo all day. It's like, or videos now, Reels or TikTok. It's like, no, you have to have strategy. You have to understand who your audience is, what you're tailoring it to, how you're cutting it up, the whole angle, the look, the timing, do you have a whole content buckets you have to hit? How are you do? It's never just you're posting a photo a day. I wish it was that easy, but it is a real job. And I've really gotten close to overcommitting for this project. So I have a lot over the next 6-8 months is a long content rollout of all this stuff, but it hopefully will lead to the next renovation, which I don't really want to say out loud because my wife would probably be very upset that we'll go through this again, but now it's becoming a business. There's no consistent money in my life. I don't have a salary. I don't have a boss. No one pays me every day. Every day I have to eat what I kill, and I have to figure out how to do that. And that's obviously not for everyone. I think it's like nature and nurture. I think there's some sort of gene that we have that's okay, I'm willing to put it all on the line to see if I can, have the lifestyle I want, or not live within the confines of the cubicle, because that's just not what I'm cut out for. Other people I think are so great at corporate work and climb the ladder and, exceed everything they thought they could within industry and become presidents, vice presidents, have a corporate card. That actually sounds great to me. To have someone else, you swipe it and then someone else pays it, and you just take the meetings, develop the business, there's beauty in security. I'm just not cut out like that. My security blanket is I have to weave it every day to keep me warm, and it is scary. I mean, last night I woke up at 4:45 just thinking, because I'm am I doing enough? Should I put this project out? What's happening with this renovate? It's anxiety ridden. As great as someone's life seems, you could have the most money in the world, you're so stressed. You could have no money, you're so stressed. You could be super successful, be so stressed. You could be in a startup, beyond stressed. We all share the same mindsets, feelings, intentions, fears. I think those are all part of anything you do at any level. So yes, I feel those all the time. Getting into real estate is scary. It's obviously this is DJing was just a service I provide, so I could do well and slowly build my fee up. It's the same as I think about goal setting. Everyone's always where do you see yourself in 10 years? If you asked me that 10 years ago, I would not have said right here. It's impossible. I just didn't even know I could be here. I didn't even know what this was or existed, So I treat that question largely in the same way that looked up to only one person, I would have probably fallen short, because I'm probably never going to be Tiger Woods. He's just got a gift. He would have helped me get somewhere. I just kind of look up to people who are within reach of me. I always tell the story, I like to meet other people's fathers who are I consider successful, or mothers, or whoever in the family. When I meet a friend's parents, and I'm how'd you get here? I'm what do you mean? I'm this is a beautiful apartment, or you have a really nice car. How are we doing this? And people love talking, and they love to give you an inspiring story. And those stories would really inspire me to, do better at just small levels. I feel I'm still crawling through the mud every day, even though this might look successful to someone. If you look back at a year, I've accomplished a lot, as is everyone here. Everyone in this class has accomplished a lot in a year. But if you look back yesterday, it seems you didn't get a lot done. If you look back 2 days ago, you got a little done, but not a lot. It's if you're in the weeds of it, you can't really see it. But if you take a big macro lens on it versus micro. Like you've actually done quite a lot, and I kind of treat that who I look up to in the same way. Like I can feel like I'm kind of learning and getting close to people who aren't far away from me and really way up above me versus the people who are so far above me. Like Warren Buffett, it's like, cool, I can read a book. I can read Tony Robbins' book. I'll definitely get nuggets out of there that are going to inspire me and help me along my way, but they're not going to teach me a ton about like real world everyday life and like how to be scrappy, how to like win the next battle against the person you got to get around, or win the next battle against your mind on how to get like past that. You know, it's like real life people who you sit in front of and tell you that, or you have a phone call with, will help you so much more. So for me, it's more about not who I looked up to, but like I surrounded myself with a community that could help bring me up, and I could use them in a good sense. Like I like to say, like, if you're being used, you're useful. You know, like being used shouldn't have a negative connotation so much, because you actually have something that people could, you know, want to have. It's not like you just got used and thrown away. Cool. It's like that helps someone along their path. Might not have been for you to work together in the end, but it's not a terrible thing, you know? So I surrounded myself with people who could be helpful to me along my journey, which again, I didn't know where I was headed, but the small journey I was willing to follow. Unfortunately, battery died on the GoPro during that chat. Yeah, so awesome to chat with some people, answer some questions. Feel like you inspire someone's mind, thought maybe for a second, but who knows. Anyway, I'd like to do more of that. Thanks to my man Justin, who I went to high school with, for following my life story and keeping me top of mind to the students. And now it's time to get to the gym and sweat it out, because I haven't been yet today. So here we go. All right, quick burn today. 35 minutes. But got to go to that acne event, which we got dressed for tonight, and then I got to go to a McAllen event, and it's just slammed with meetings all day. So better to get something in than nothing. So I feel good about it. But I didn't get a Instagram post up, I didn't get a TikTok post up, but I got a vlog. It just went up right now from last week. So. Whew. Wait, who's on your shirt?
Biggie.
Biggie. Come on, man. That was the coolest thing. That was the coolest thing you ever said right there, was that Biggie's on your shirt.
Snackies.
Oh, now you want snackies? Okay. All right, you know what? I think this is enough for this vlog, Preston. What do you think? Enough?
Enough.
Yeah. Can you say bye, everybody?
Hi, buddy.